has the highest number of member countries at the International Maritime Organization, giving the continent a significant role in shaping global maritime policies. Hello, and it's nice to have you join us once again on your program NIMASA this week, where we give you all the necessary guide into the maritime industry. I remain your uncle, Monyoluwa Olutayo. Welcome on board. I'll be right back.
NIMASA this week. You are watching NIMASA this week.
You are watching NIMASA this week.
You are watching NIMASA this week.
The voice of maritime in Nigeria.
Keep watching.
Keep watching.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
We are number one.
NIMASA this week. The voice of maritime, showing on these stations.
On 17th and 18th March 2025 in Abuja, the Honorable Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, His Excellency Adegboyega Oyetola CON, convened policymakers, industry experts, and stakeholders in the marine and blue economy sector on African Strategic Summit on Shipping Decarbonization with the theme ensuring a just and equitable shipping decarbonization for Africa. The two-day symposium was organized by the Federal Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy in collaboration with the UCL Energy Institute and the Ballet School of Energy, University College London. Stay tuned on the program as we bring you clips from the summit.
Shipping decarbonization in Africa is gaining momentum as global regulations tighten and the maritime industry shifts towards cleaner energy. The International Maritime Organization, IMO, has set ambitious emission reduction targets, and NIMASA is committed to aligning with the IMO's greenhouse gas strategy. To drive this agenda, the Federal Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy, in collaboration with UCL Energy Institute and the Bartlett School of Energy, Environment and Resources, hosted a two-day strategic summit on shipping decarbonization in Nigeria. Declaring the summit open, the Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, His Excellency Adegboyega Oyetola CON, urged African maritime stakeholders to harness the continent's renewable energy potential, positioning Africa as a leader in green shipping. He emphasized the need for equitable decarbonization, ensuring no African nation is left behind.
Decarbonizing the shipping industry must be pursued in a manner that is just and equitable, ensuring that no African nation is left behind. Shipping decarbonization also goes beyond ship. It touches various sectors such as transport, environment, climate change, trade and investment, among others. However, this requires a concerted effort from all stakeholders to align investment with sustainability and economic growth.
The Director General of the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA, Dr. Dayo Mobiriola, highlighted the shipping industry's 3% contribution to global greenhouse gas emissions and stressed the need for Africa to adopt sustainable practices in line with international standards. He called for stronger cooperation with the IMO greenhouse gas strategy to ensure a just and equitable transition while enhancing Africa's technical capacity for climate action.
The shipping industry accounts for approximately 3% of global GHG emissions contribution to climate change. These environmental concerns arising from the emissions have created a sense of urgency, driving the world to focus on shipping decarbonization, and Africa must not be left behind. As Africa grows and develops, we must prioritize sustainable and responsible maritime practices. The decision we make today will shape the future of our maritime industry.
Discussions at the summit centered on the IMO's greenhouse gas reduction strategy and Africa's role in shipping decarbonization. John Omingo, the president of the Association of African Maritime Administrations, underscored the benefits, including reduced global warming, job creation, cleaner air, and modernized ports.
Agencies, everybody doing similar thing or different thing. With that said, John Omingo, do you think this national decarbonization policy that you are proposing is only the best way to go?
Yeah, it is important because the coming up with the policy, the public involvement is critical. You have to involve the public in a very extensive manner so that they know exactly what problem are we curing, what are the consequences of not responding in the right way. So that when you develop the policy, not only developing, but you will be able to come up with an implementation framework that will ensure compliance with the policy, because it can just be a piece of paper, but if you did involve the public participation to come up with it and they didn't understand what it's meant for, then you will have challenges in terms of the implementation. So multi-agency, just like my fellow panelists have said, the multi-agency involvement, the public involvement is critical for you to be, so that everybody knows what is it that we are trying to address and how best can we cure it.
Goodwill messages were delivered by Chief Geoffrey Nnaji, Minister of Innovation, Science and Technology, Dr. Jumoke Oduwole, Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, and Vice Admiral Emmanuel Ogala, Chief of Naval Staff. They all emphasized the importance of collaboration in achieving a greener maritime environment in Nigeria. The summit provided a vital platform for stakeholders to strategize sustainable solutions, aligning Africa with global climate goals and the green shipping revolution.
Climate change poses serious threats to our environment, economy and the communities, demanding urgent and coordinated action. Decarbonization maritime shipping is central to Nigeria's commitment under the Nigeria Energy Transition Plan and our Blue Economy Strategy. Nigeria is committed to achieving net zero emissions by 2060 through renewable energy adoption, technological innovation, and sustainable resource management, reflecting core aspects of President Tinubu's 8-point agenda. In line with these goals, our ministry proudly supports initiatives such as the landmark hydrogen project, green hydrogen project, placing Nigeria at the forefront of global renewable energy leadership. The current energy landscape in Nigeria is predominantly fossil fuel based, that is PMS, AGO, and other forms of fossil fuel, with its attendant CO2 emissions, which is contributing to climate change. And because of this, the federal government of Nigeria, under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, has initiated this 5-point decarbonization agenda, spanning through power, transportation, cooking, oil and gas, and the marine industry. Of course, in all these areas, the Nigerian Navy is actively part of it.
It is not about buying the modern-day shipping, modern-day vessels, but this is more about applying the policies, the ideologies, and also retrofitting the current vessels to meet the modern climate change needs of the world. And that is a way we can be part and cooperative of the international maritime nations of the world.
Welcome back. The program is still NIMASA this week. As part of effort towards enhancing security and compliance to the International Ships and Port Security Facility Code in the Nigerian ports, the United States Coast Guard has visited the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA. The aim of the week-long visit is to share experiences between both countries through a peer-reviewed exercise while boosting cooperation and driving implementation processes, all geared towards a safe and secure maritime sector in Nigeria. Stay tuned.
In a bid to strengthen maritime security cooperation between Nigeria and the United States of America, the United States Coast Guard visited NIMASA for a peer review exercise on Nigeria's compliance with the International Ships and Ports Facility Security Code, ISPS. During the visit, the Director General of NIMASA, Dr. Dayo Mobiriola, reaffirmed the agency's commitment to collaboration in enhancing security across Nigerian waters and the wider Gulf of Guinea. Represented by the head of the ISPS unit, Mr. Issa Moody, Mobiriola urged the United States Coast Guard team to ensure their report accurately reflects the progress made in Nigerian ports, noting that some improvements have been underreported.
The ongoing collaboration between NIMASA and the U.S. Coast Guard is vital to ensuring that both positive developments in the areas concerned are fairly represented, giving international shipping community a balanced perspective on security of Nigerian ports. Working closely with the U.S. Coast Guard to ensure that future security adversaries accurately reflect the progress and investment and efforts made by Nigeria.
On his part, the head of the delegation, Lieutenant Commander Eric Hatfield, expressed satisfaction with the improvements in Nigerian ports. He assured that their records will be updated to accurately reflect the progress made and reaffirmed the United States Coast Guard's commitment to strengthening collaboration with NIMASA. Hatfield also emphasized the need for continued progress and deeper partnership between both organizations.
To our visit, we had the pleasure of visiting Matrix and Julius Berger in Warri, and then continuing on to Lekki Deep Sea Port, Lekki Terminal, and Dangote Terminal. I'm very pleased to report that our findings were quite positive. We are seeing evidence of a strong and deep understanding of the ISPS code and the implementation of the ISPS code. We are taking back several notes for best practices, and I wanted to include that the ISPS team's quarterly visits of the facilities is above and beyond almost anything we see anywhere in the world.
Still on NIMASA this week, thanks for staying with us. The number 8 goal of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal is decent work and economic growth. This underscores the importance of job creation in a bid to reduce unemployment. In this edition, Omobolaji Anise, the personal assistant to the Executive Director Operations NIMASA, will be speaking to us on the agency's role in replicating this goal within the maritime sector, specifically with regards to employment conditions of the seafarers in Nigeria. Stay tuned.
Hello viewers. The maritime sector has continued to play a pivotal role in the actualization of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. And in this edition, or in this segment rather, we have been discussing the importance of the SDGs and how the maritime sector in Nigeria has contributed to the growth of the SDG in Nigeria. In this particular edition, we'll be discussing SDG 8, talking about decent work and economic growth. And with me in this segment is Omobolaji Anise. Is a personal assistant to the Executive Director Operations of NIMASA. Bolaji, you're welcome.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you once again. Now, talking about SDG 8, right? It talks about decent work and then economic growth, right? So can you tell us in clear terms, what is NIMASA doing to ensure decent work is achieved in the seafaring profession? Of course, not also forgetting to mention the dock labor industry. Thank you.
You know, as may be aware, the three key focus areas of the SDG 8 is sustained economic growth, full and quality employment, and decent work. In line with this, the agency, through effective social dialogue, established the National Joint Industrial Council. The essence of the National Joint Industrial Council, in line with ILO standard on tripartism, which has workers' representative, employee representative, and government representative, established the NGIC, not only for the seafarers but also for the dock workers. At the essence of this council is to set the minimum standards for the maritime labor industry, which also ensures social protection for maritime labor.
All right, thank you very much. Now, talking about this issue of seafarers and all that, as you may know, the profession is already a male-dominated industry, that's the maritime sector. And I know that the decent work and economic growth SDG talks about, reducing inequalities in the sector. What is NIMASA doing to ensure there's a balance in the sector as regards employment?
NIMASA has an initiative called She Worthy Program. This initiative is engendered towards young females in secondary schools. The program's main objective is to enable them to have interest in the maritime industry and overall to ensure that there's more female participation in the maritime industry.
Okay, thank you. So how is NIMASA supporting entrepreneurs, the small businesses in the industry to grow, to be able to, have more employment spaces in the industry? How is NIMASA doing this?
The Cabotage Act was enacted to ensure full participation to ensure indigenous participation in the maritime industry, not only on the human side but also infrastructure. This act also ensures that there's a certain fund set aside to give to indigenous ship owners to participate in the maritime industry.
On a final note, I'll ask you this. The SDGs are winding down gradually. In about 5 years or thereabouts, we're done with this set of SDGs, right? So what do you think the United Nations should do? We just end the SDGs, or there's a rejig of the SDGs so that the global populace can still have that minimum, standard of living?
I'm of the opinion that the SDGs should be rejigged and the successes gained already in the previous ones should be sustained, and also ensure that the standards already being set is not just but also improved on.
All right. Dear viewers, thank you very much for listening to us. We have been speaking on decent work and economic growth, as the SDG 8. And as we've heard from the mouth of our guest, he said that decent work, of course, transcends to economic growth. It's a wrap on this segment. I remain your host. My name is Femi Kumuyi. See you again.
Nigeria has continued to demonstrate its preparedness to tackle piracy and other maritime crimes by initiating the Deep Blue Project, which has received commendation from the International Maritime Organization and other international bodies. NIMASA, through the Deep Blue Project, has trained about 450 personnel of the Nigerian Armed Forces, comprising the Nigerian Navy, Nigerian Air Force, Nigerian Army, Nigerian Police, and Department of State Security. This has seen Nigeria recording successes in the fight against piracy. In addition to this, the signing into law of the Suppression of Piracy and Other Maritime-Related Offences Act in 2019 has enabled the agency prosecute maritime crimes, thereby deterring others from carrying out such nefarious activities on the Nigerian waters. The Deep Blue asset includes land and air assets, in addition to the use of drones manned by trained professionals. Interestingly, the Nigerian waters have been safe and free from piracy attacks since the year 2021, a feat that has been highly commended and corroborated by the International Maritime Bureau, IMB. Upon this premise, Nigeria has been delisted from the countries considered as high-risk piracy nations by the International Bargaining Forum, IBF. At the moment, NIMASA is working with the international community to remove the war risk insurance premium placed on Nigerian-bound cargoes.
I am Captain Sondo Moren.
My name is Emmanuel Maigua.
I am Dr. Odunayo Ani.
Hello everyone, my name is Vivian Chimezie.
Western Nigeria President.
CEO of BRICS Master Matani and President of Mano.
And I'm the Director General at the Nigerian Chamber of Shipping.
You're watching NIMASA This Week.
You're watching NIMASA This Week.
The voice of the maritime.
The voice of the maritime industry.
Keep watching.
Keep watching NIMASA This Week.
Keep watching us.
NIMASA This Week, the voice of maritime, showing on these stations.
Any vessel operating coastal voyage in Nigeria must mandatorily have on board the following: vessel logbook, vessel port of call, vessel particulars, which include registry certificates, safety equipment certificates such as safe manning certificates, builder's certificates, load line certificates, tonnage certificates, radio certificate, insurance certificates, classification certificates, passenger ship safety certificate, service certificate, cargo ship certificate, and waiver certificate or receipts. Vessel owners, captains, shipping agents, and members of the public are advised to note and comply.
Wow, what a beautiful time it's been on the program today. Thanks for watching. And for our Muslim brothers and sisters and our Christian brothers and sisters, we wish you all a happy fasting period. Until we meet again on the same platform next week, bye for now.